Hello everybody, this is Tazlon. Welcome aboard the Train of Thought, where we look at various concepts and transport fever and kick the bull off the tracks. You will have nothing to beef about because we will not steer you wrong. Okay, time for the flat terrain and see how much that changes things. Here's the route we've set up. Just happens to be another oil well to refinery. Back to the oil well. As you can see, it doesn't cross any contours. Nearly straight. Very, very little change in elevation. And then it gets trucked off to town. This is a fairly big town. It's over 230, so it can handle all the freight we send that way. And as always, we will start with 6 cars, single starter engine. So let's get this out on the line. And 5, 6. He starts at $2.7 million in debt. Okay, I will see you in 18 years and we'll see how he's doing. Okay, it's 1869. And this single engine with 6 cars has been way more successful than on the map with terrain change. He's already down to 1.2 million, and there's a chance as he pulls into the station here, he'll maybe knock it down to 700,000. It's going to be close. Oh, not letting me do it. It must have been just under 500,000. But he'll get it definitely next trip. When he hits the refinery, he'll have it down to 700,000. Remarkable effort by the single engine. Now, let me turn on the terrain here. And you can see again, this map is this route's extremely flat, very little terrain change at all. And it's fairly straight, just a big, wide, sweeping turn that doesn't really impact their speed. He hit top speed right here before he got to Milwaukee. And so that doesn't really give the dual engine setups much room to play with to try to squeeze out some extra profit by getting their trains up to full speed faster than he can. So this is going to be a close competition. He's not going to pay off all his loans, but he's getting pretty close. Here we go. And now he has a little over a year to pad that as much as he can. I have a feeling he's going to be extremely competitive with the double engines on this map. Just watch. He leaves the station. He's already up to 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I mean, even if they accelerate twice as fast, they only have one little block of track really that they've gained a speed advantage, and I don't see how that's enough for them to overcome the added maintenance costs they're going to have. And on the twin threes, they're going to have a most likely another loan to add in. I think he's going to give these double engines a real run for their money. And we're into 1870, one more year. Will he end up in the green or in the red? Doesn't matter either way. He's had a really good run here. The difference between the flat terrain and trying to make him deal with elevation changes is just remarkable. If you recall, when he had the 27 meters of height he had to climb, barely made any money at all, and here he's just blowing it out of the water. Half a year to go. I don't think he's going to make it back, but he has 4 full months. Maybe he will. I think that's just going to leave him a little short. We'll see. Either way, he's going to end up being under 700,000 because maintenance costs aren't going to chew up 176,000 along the way. So he's going to finish, unless he no, there's no way he's making the terminal. He's going to finish at 121 plus whatever trucks may arrive. Well, no, because we have to subtract out interest. 72.4. Oh, we're down into points now. So he has 700,000 in loans minus 72.4. That'll be 6, 7, 2, 627.6 thousand. Pretty good job overall. So now we're off to the double engines on 6 cars, and we'll see how he does. Well, the single engine 6 certainly fired a shot across the bow of these dual engine simulations, so let's put a double 6 out on the track and see how it answers the call. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The double engine with 6 cars is also going to be starting with 2.70 million. And the question will be, does the single 6 give it enough time in that short space that it's taken to get up to 25 miles an hour to allow the double engine to make up the difference in income there? And here we go. I will be back in 18 years. And here we are. You can see it's going to be a close competition here. Let me get him going. 1.2 million, 258,000, and 2 years to go. So it looks like he's going to get down to just 700,000 in loans as well. And the difference is going to be who can go the farthest below 700,000. By the time he gets the loan paid off, he may not stay below 700,000. Seems like he's at this point just a little bit behind the single engine. And like I said, they can't speed up fast enough to have enough distance in between the point they hit top speed and the point the single engine hit top speed. I just don't think there's enough distance for them to make up the maintenance costs. It's really close. I don't even know if he's going to break 700,000 this year. But when you think about it, between having one extra truck running up here and the added engine down here, both these dual engine scenarios have about $30,000 a year more in maintenance cost. And over 20 years, that's $600,000 they have to make up. And while he's certainly putting up a game effort, I don't know if he has. I just don't think he has the distance to do it. He just might pay this loan off this trip. I don't know if he can beat September. This is like, it's farther away, so this distance is greater than you think. He's not going to make it, and so he won't get to pay it off. Then he's going to have interest, only 30,000. I think he's going to pay it off in 1870. So close. Yeah, he'll pay it off on this trip, and then he's going to have just a fraction of a year left to try to grab some extra income. They have the interest down so much right now, it's not a big hit at the end of the year. But he's going to have this run and then the run back. And I think he's going to fall just a little bit short. Now when we add the two cars, maybe slowing down that single engine is going to provide enough of a space for them to operate in that they can overcome the small difference there's going to be. Definitely going over here. And he'll get to complete this other run, so he should finish in the green, but I don't know by how much. This is really going to be close. But no matter how it turns out, a great turnaround in ability to generate income when you move that single starter engine onto flat terrain. Definitely its element. I think he loses by just by pennies. Wow. I think all three setups are going to just be inches away from each other on this 6-car scenario. On the terrain change map, the twin cars barely lost out to the double, so I don't see why that would be much difference here. Oh, he ends up in the negative, minus 26.7. So he actually ends up at 726.7K. 726.7K. Wow. Barely under $100,000 difference. Which over 20 years is like 5K a year. Wow. Okay. The single engine's looking strong right now. Let's see how those twin 3 cars do. Well, it's been nip and tuck so far. Now time for the twin 3s to roll out and see what kind of game they have on this flat terrain. Put him out on the line. Build another. Oops, need some money. Once again, it's going to take an additional loan. And again, I will wait until train number 1 gets down in this area, and I'll pull the other guy out then, and they should be running pretty much opposite each other for the rest of the simulation, so they won't trip over each other's engines or cars or conductors, and they'll get to merrily chug along. In the 2 previous simulations, we've seen that added loan, the interest on that has prevented them from pulling out a win, even though they've been just barely behind the double engines. But wow, that single engine on this flat terrain put in a strong performance. They have to have their sights on the single engine instead of the double engine this time. Should be right a little bit after these next signals, I think. Let's say here. Oh, that's pretty close. Alright. If you've been watching, you know when I'll be back, so I will see you then. And 1869 has just begun. Guess what? 1.2 million, 167,000 in the bank, and they just crisscrossed each other right here, so they're pretty much halfway through the route. Like I said, this is almost a 3-way tie. It's going to be so close. Now the question becomes, is there going to be a bigger differential when we add 2 cars? And because Versailles is only pushing like 60%, I think what I may do, because we're looking at flat terrain, is go ahead and run all 3 engine configurations with 8 cars and then try them with 10 cars. On the first scenario with Lexington, it was already bumping right up against 100 with 8 cars, so I couldn't do 10 because I didn't have the demand in town to run 10. But on this town I do. And I'm kind of curious because I usually try to stick to 6 or 7 starter cars. I'm kind of curious as to what would happen if the double engines make 10 cars profitable when you're running freight into a city large enough to accept that demand or create that demand in a starter game. I haven't ever really tried it that big because I just figured it wouldn't work. But I never thought about using 2 engines at the start of the game, so I want to see if it's profitable or if it's better than running 6 cars and kind of going the easy way. So I think the twin 3s are in the same boat as the double 6 in that they're going to be into 1870 before they get down to 700,000. They will most likely get it on this. Let's see how far down they go. This is going to be another nope, I don't think they will unless the truck comes in. We'll have to see. It's going to be really close. I think they'll be just short, but we'll see. Ah, just not quite there. One more trip. I really thought the twin trains wouldn't do as well because of the extra loan they've had to take out every scenario so far. But that ability to get that second train out halfway through at the beginning and pick up cargo right away has really negated the impact of the additional loan. Now they're a little bit farther along the track. I wonder if they complete this trip. If they do, I think they win this simulation. If they don't, they lose it. And they don't make it, so they're minus 124. Wow. And that'll be 6, 7. Oh no, wait, that's minus. I need to add 824. So here I thought they were going to pull out a win, and they end up taking last place again, not by very much. But that additional loan is just, they don't have a way of quite overcoming it. And still, it's the same thing. If you plan on double tracking that line later on, they win. But if it's a line that you don't ever plan on double tracking, then the other trains win. So it really is coming down to what you want to do in the future. Now, what we're going to do next is add 2 cars. Do it all again with 8 cars being divvied up, and I think then we're going to do 10 just to see how that works, because I think the double engines may be able to handle that weight, and I know the town can handle the demand. So I'll be back with those 3 simulations when I get done running them.